Catherine Christian is former assistant DA for the Manhattan District Attorney's Office and an MSNBC legal analyst. Rick Pildes is constitutional law professor at NYU. It's great to have such a panel with me right now. What we're hearing from the Hill, from Democrats, who obviously were watching this closely, Lisa, is all basic rights are now under attack. What does this ruling say and mean?
Well, let's talk about what it says and what it doesn't say. It certainly restricts the ability of lower courts to issue nationwide or universal injunctions, but it doesn't eradicate it completely. It leaves open the possibility that in certain limited cases, in order to get what Justice Barrett calls complete relief, it may be that a particular party needs a nationwide injunction. That's almost never going to be the case if I, Lisa Rubin, am the plaintiff. But for example, as she allows, it may be the case that the states that have brought two of the suits here that were at issue, Chris, may need a blanket nationwide injunction to vindicate the rights of their citizens. Why? Because of what they call cross-border flow and the fact that they are distributing benefits on the basis of citizenship. They say that if this only applies, for example, in the states that have litigated, but otherwise the Trump administration is free to implement this birthright citizenship executive order, the patchwork of legality, so to speak, will make it so administratively impossible for them to determine who is not a citizen. They'll have to track the parents of all babies born in their state, as well as the birth state of any baby who then becomes a resident of their state. So it may be the case in the end that the states do in fact get a nationwide injunction. The majority leaves that for another day. But more globally, the restriction on nationwide injunctions mean that a panoply of issues that Democrats care about are very much at risk. Everything from gun violence to reproductive choice is now, as Attorney General Matthew Platkin put it to me in an interview earlier this week, dependent on the state in which you live and whether or not you have an attorney general who's willing to fight to vindicate your rights, as opposed to do you live in a state governed by Republicans that are willing to capitulate to President Trump?
Rick, this was considered birthright citizenship a basic constitutional right. You're born in America. You are an American. Donald Trump clearly sees this very differently. Let me play for folks exactly what he said.
And some of the cases we're talking about would be ending birthright citizenship, which now comes to the fore. That was meant for the babies of slaves. It wasn't meant for people trying to scam the system and come into the country on a vacation